Nah, you're only pulling the second best in Australia, mate.
Too bad.
Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A few guests here. I'm sure you all know. Well, you should by now know Lachlan Carpenter, aka Shekel, Prince of Coin, Collector of Cash,
Collector of Cash,
and Mr. Pistol Pete, who's appeared in our show before.
Table IQ.
Table IQ, welcome, buddy.
Get on his page, people.
Yeah. How are we?
Pretty shit, mate.
Fucking
left the house
you meant to say pretty good.
Oh, how are those 1,000+ cases a day going, guys?
Yeah, fuck off.
We reached 1,000.
I'm not one of that. So.
Alrighty, so today's vid, we're doing a top 10 arm wrestlers in Australia and Oceania region, based on credentials and results. Yeah, cool. Are we taking into account activity, or are we going to be
absolutely? Yeah.
Just relevancy.
Relevancy.
Like, yeah, if we were to pick them all, right now, where we think they'd end up.
Sure. Alrighty, well, let's get started. So number one, Mata Rongi Hetamoris.
Yeah.
I mean, butcher his name, but yeah.
100% agree with him being as number one. Yeah. Results, let's just say, what was his last match? Was it with Blue?
Yeah.
Arguably with Blue.
Super match. Yeah.
Yep. And before that, well, he drew with Blue 3-3. 3-3. And then was it prior to that or after that at Arnold's when he won the overalls?
He basically won against Ryan Scott in like grueling matches. Yeah.
Noting,
and that was left and right too. Oh no, it wasn't. Sorry, no, don't quote me on that. It wasn't left and right. It was just right hand.
Just right handed.
Yeah.
Lucky one left.
Lucky one though. Yeah.
Let's just put out that Matt has an official loss in the last couple of years, and it was one of you guys that was able to.
It was. Hey, look, you got the first one.
Hey,
you got the first one on him.
It's
didn't
worth
you?
mentioning.
Well, if we are mentioning it, yeah. yours truly has a pin on Matt. But it was a Matt that had already started drinking.
Massive respect to that.
Yeah, so I don't count it in my mind, but it is what it is.
Okay. So number one,
Matt.
Mate.
Was he undefeated that day? Or I think he just lost.
So he beat Lachlan Adair right-handed 6-0 that day.
Oh.
So probably would have been roughly 2 years ago now to this day. Well,
yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah, February 2019.
Was it Feb? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Feb 2019.
Awesome. Number two.
Fucking Brett Coots, yeah.
Brett Coots?
Yeah.
Right. So the reason why, well, each of you just take us through why you think Brett is number two.
Murray, you want to start?
Yeah, me
Murray,
personally, it's because he hasn't lost to either Ryan Bowen or Lachlan Adair, right-handed.
Yeah. So he only has losses on Mate.
Yeah. And
Plus
if you want some recent activity, you look at the super match with me and Brett.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's still active. Perhaps not in his prime shape, but based on his wins on you, he's still right there whenever he wants to be.
Right there.
So look, I know Ryan Bowen and Lachlan Adair are right there, and you can speculate that they're above Brett, but I think based on where we are at the moment in this climate, until they have these matches, we cannot be certain. And based on credentials, and by default, really, we have to put Brett above them.
Absolutely. And this is what this list is about. It's about the results and the credentials.
If we're doing it in good faith, we have to, that's how we're justifying Brett, because also he took out first left and right at 2019 Nationals.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Which is like the last Nationals.
And I know Blue, Lockie and Jordan were at Zloty that year. So they obviously prioritized that, as you would.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. Number 3, Ryan Bowen.
That's a given.
Yep. So
Well, it's not because everyone thought we were probably going to put Lachlan Adair.
yeah. So you probably expected us to say Lockie, and arguably, and well, you can almost objectively say that Lachlan Adair is the stronger out of the two. But we've decided to put Ryan Bowen as third place due to a few reasons. Anyone want to
activity, mainly.
activity? So
Yeah, well, Lockie hasn't competed a lot because he was at Zoddy in 2019, and then Ryan's competed a ton. And you know, he was at gold at right hand. Was he gold as South Australia? And then what was his most recent one? I think that was actually his most recent.
His most Ryan.
He beat you 4-2.
Yeah.
Well, one litmus test we do have is Dan Mosier.
Yep.
Because we've had Dan versus Lockie, where Dan wins, and then we have, although controversial, Ryan versus Dan in the States, where Ryan did.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And it is hard because then you start getting circumstantial based on times, dates. But we do know that Dan Mosier beat Lockie Adair and Blue at Unfights Unleashed.
Yep.
That day. Since then, Blue has a win or a pin on Dan Mosier.
That's right.
Look, if you had to ask me who's going to win out of Blue and Lockie in their upcoming match, I would put money on Lockie. However, until that happens in an official comp setting, I feel like based on the credentials and the results, we have to put Blue above Lockie.
Anyone putting any money up?
Yeah, I'll put $20 on Ryan.
$20.
Same.
If
I'm
you're
with
keen,
Ryan on this
Andy.
one too.
All three of yous on Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, not Shekel.
I might chuck 100 on Ryan actually. I just he always finds a way to win, man. I don't know. Like he knows Lockie so well. They've trained together for years.
Mate, he's been taking notes for years, believe me.
Yeah.
I know that I reckon I know the type of guy that Ryan Bowen is.
If they didn't know each other,
Oh, absolutely. If they didn't know each other, I'd say Lachlan Adair wins.
Okay. So there you go. I'm the only one back and lucky, apparently. Fucking hell. All right, there you go. Well, with that in mind, number 4, Lachlan Adair.
Of course.
Now, you know, this guy is arguably number 1. And he would definitely argue that he's number 1 and he's ready to showcase that. You know, we saw, obviously, when he was meant to compete against Ryan Scott, due to COVID, that screwed him over, and he didn't really get to show us what he was all about and how far he's come.
Yeah, and to his credit, he was ready.
Yeah, he did.
He was fucking ready.
He really did look ready.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just dumb rules in Australia. That's all it is.
So, look, arguably,
We'd have a lot harder if COVID fucked off.
It's hard because he hasn't, obviously partially because of COVID, well, mostly because of COVID, he hasn't been able to compete. We still don't know where he's at, but we do have the data of his progress. We see some training videos. We see him training with Blue. He's a bigger human now than he ever was.
Yeah.
Especially when peaking. So, look, he's you know, based on these, the setting that we're running, the parameters, he's number 4, arguably number 1. And I think we'll see very soon where everyone's at.
Yeah.
Anything to add to that before we move on?
Not me.
Yeah. Cool. Number 5, Ryan Scott. If you just for a moment put aside his recent loss to Ryan Bowen, he has an impeccable career behind him. He has pins on Gunters Baikovs, Ben Carroll, and Lockie Adair, Ryan Bowen, and Matt Hedda Morris. Brett. He has pins on literally everyone in Australia and Oceanic, which not many people can say. So with that in mind, he has to slot into 5th place because no one else has beaten him other than Blue. Do I think that the Ryan Scott we saw against Blue was a prime Ryan Scott? No. So with that being said, I don't think he should be too harshly judged based on his performance.
Yeah.
And just because he lost to Blue that day, he still did get pins that day. Was it either 1 or 2 pins on Blue? Was it 3-1 or 3-2?
He got one pin.
Yeah. So to get a pin on Blue at the best of times is no easy task. So yeah, I really can't justify putting him any lower than 5th.
I think he'll come back. Over the top, we'll see a better version of him, I think.
Yeah, as long as his injuries have subsided and he's back on track,
Yeah,
I really think he can do
if
some
you get a
damage.
primed, injury-free Ryan Scott, I don't think there will be anyone that can stop him.
A vicious
That's just
kick.
my personal opinion.
Okay.
On paper, we could put Ryan as 4th and Lachlan as 5th, but I think we are adding a little bit of
Yeah.
we're
It
accounting
gets-
for
There's a
the-
lot of speculating because
yeah.
it's just how it is in Australia right now.
Yeah. Look,
But,
based on data, Ryan Scott still would rank above Lockie Adair. However,
He said himself after the Blue match that he couldn't beat Lockie based on
yeah,
For now, you're going to put Lockie.
it's quite blurred where Lockie and Ryan Scott are. I think we should leave it as is.
But to sum it up, we're just taking results from 2019 to now, right? And we're taking matches that they've had or comps that they've won through the AAF website because all the data's there.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, let's move on to number 6.
Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis. Yep.
What do you do?
So the reacher, he was inactive for a little while, and then kind of came out of hibernation for a little bit.
Yeah. When was his last competition before New South Wales 2021?
Was it against Pepe?
Couldn't have been that long ago.
When was that?
That was 2019.
I think that was 2019. Yeah.
Well, apart from that,
He beat him on right arm, and then they had a super match, right? Was that 2018? I think it might have been 2018, where
No, it was
Jordan beat Pepe and Wright.
No, it was 8th of June 2019. That's when Pepe and Jordan had a match. Yeah, and then Pepe won.
Jordan, if you're watching, apart from your match against Pepe and your recent comp in New South Wales, did you compete in between then? So let us know.
Got August. He came 4th on right hand in Queensland Championships.
That's right. Yeah. 2019.
Lost to Bowen and Fatali and Torben.
When was this, sorry?
August 2019, came 4th at Queensland States.
Okay. So would have that been Eka? Or like around that time when they ran Eka?
It's literally an echo. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So that is arguably his second most recent performance.
Yeah, it is. The rest are 95 under.
Yeah. So we did see him, take a step back. I believe he had some little niggles or injuries he was dealing with, but I can't tell you for sure. But he came out and competed in this year's New South Wales comp, wiped out the competition, beating Mario. I believe he faced him twice.
Yeah, faced him twice.
And, based on Mario's matches, wins, losses on Blue, and just your wins in general, we have to place Jordan at 6.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I agree with that.
So
Can we just say, is there another contender as far as best pound for pound arm wrestler in Australia? Because I think Jordan takes it.
Oh, well, look.
He is putting on weight now, so he's kind of moving away from that light frame of his.
Your contenders are Sam Barnett and Josh Barker for pound for pound.
68 kilos.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think Josh Barker actually sort of tips the scale because he's much lighter. And I think he can contend with Sam.
I think you can never rule out Andrew Manfrey, pound for pound.
Oh, fuck.
Because he walks
You
around.
can never forget him. Yeah.
He walks around at around 82 kilos, 83 kilos. So he could easily be under 80, maybe even under 75. And I know when Andrew semi-recently, I think it was probably 6 months ago, he went to Queensland to train with some of the guys. And I know he gave a lot of people trouble there on the table.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, you can say that about Grant Tolentino too.
Grant Tolentino as well.
Yeah. He's definitely pound for pound.
For sure.
Really, really good.
Yeah. Alrighty, number 7. Your boy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
About time.
It's your fucking boy.
Yeah, Uncle Mazzarino.
Yeah, fucking nice, man.
Yeah, mate. So obviously you deserve to be, at this number 7 mark. And I would argue that you're right there with top 3.
I think I can give him a good run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan Bowen especially, I know that for a fact.
Yeah. Well, you've done it time and time again.
I mean, look at him now. He's nuts now, but
yeah,
back then I could.
Yeah. So look, this year you competed obviously in New South Wales, only coming second to Jordan.
Yeah.
Prior to that, you had a really good match with Brett Coots.
Oh, if you call it a good match.
How many
results say otherwise, but the match itself was good. It was good.
Yeah, you got a pin on him on the left, which almost no one has done.
Yeah, I don't think who's done it. Gunter's, and that's about it.
The only
right?
person.
Yeah, I was really happy with that. Even Ron Barth couldn't do it, so that's what I'm scaling off.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and then obviously for right-handed, although it was 3-0, you still made him really work.
I worked him in a hook, which I was super proud of.
For sure. So I think
was that the goal coming in to hook him?
Sorry.
Was that the goal coming in?
Fuck no! I was trying to top roll him. I did not. I had a decent hook till I versed him. Honestly.
Yeah. You just felt like you couldn't top roll him.
Well, mate, he's just his tabletop pressure is just too much for me. My pronation wasn't enough.
He's got a difficult hand to really work through.
Exactly.
Alrighty, so number 8, Fatale Matteo. We saw him, was it 2018 or 2019 when he competed?
It was both,
in New South
2018
Wales?
and 2019, where he came to New South Wales and beat me.
Mm-hmm. He also beat Adam Laura, I believe, that day.
Yeah, he would have had to.
He did, yes. Yeah. I think so.
And he had he had some wars with Ryan Bowen probably a year ago, just over a year ago.
That's right. They had a $1,000 super match.
Yeah, but that's right. $1,000 super match where I think the result was 4-3. So 3-3, and then they went to a 7th round. So he's got a really big hand and a really, really proficient top roll. I think it was 2018 that he competed at South Australia and beat Ryan Bowen. So he's always relevant. And always right up there. Anything else to add for Tyler?
Not really, no. In terms of his matches, you just listed them all, as far as I remember.
Yeah. So obviously, it'd be good to see him competing more.
Absolutely.
Nothing super recent, is there?
Somewhere that's not just New South Wales and Queensland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, COVID's ruined most of this year anyway, like it did last year. So it is a really confusing time we're in.
You had a little challenge for him too, didn't you, Andy?
Yeah, he called me out not too long ago. I accepted just when shit opens up. I'll never, turn down a super match. And I think
that's how you get better, man.
I think my match with him, if and when it does happen, will speak volumes about where I'm at, where he's at as well.
Yeah, I want to pull him too.
With that in mind, we'll move on to number 9, Marcus Attire. So we've seen Marcus. He's one of those genetic freaks, just a very big frame that's come into the sport, and he's beating people he probably shouldn't be beating straight away.
Yeah, that's true.
As far as the last year to 2 years, he went through Torben Pelican pretty easily on the right hand.
That's right. And that was his probably. Was that no? That wasn't his latest. Yeah. But that was his best performance. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Other than you, it was. Yeah.
He went through Henry Mullet from Victoria pretty easily.
Yeah.
And despite Henry being quite new as well, and he he's no easy target. So it is really hard to draw a correlation between Marcus and who should be in that 8th to 10th place. There's a lack of data, I should say, as to where he really places, because I do believe quite a few people could give him a good match or beat him. But just based on his activity this year, I do think he deserves this title, or this spot, I should say. Yeah, what do you guys think?
Well, I think it's worth noting that he does have a history, that extends further than the past couple of years. Like, he's done very well at Nats before. It was 2015 and 2016.
It was 2017. He did very well. Yeah,
2017. Yeah, because he was kind of in and out for quite a few years, and I believe it's only this year that he's really said, "No, I'm in this sport now."
Basically, yeah.
So yeah.
And I think just from the last, I think, official comp that he was at, which would have been, I think, Queensland Championships 2020.
Yeah.
I think his only loss, if I recall correctly, was against Greg Allen. I think it was on fouls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did, really well at a fairly decent comp.
Yeah, and the level there was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very good. Like, you have honorable mention to Torben Pelican, who's right up there, probably like in the extended list, say 10 to 15. But yeah, it's a weird gray area when we get further than like 8th place, because anything from like 8th to 12, 13, 14, 15, it's kind of like a battleground, the same way it is from like 1 to 7, because the difference between these athletes really is maybe 5-10% from 7th to 1st or 15th to 8th.
It really does blur, and it becomes difficult to analyze, and
it's about styles as well. So
yep. Alrighty, so
slides in there.
Number 10. I don't want no part of this.
I think there's a good argument. So number 10, Mr. Andy B.
Boss.
And look, your best. I mean, we got to mention the same year that Brett Coots took out first, left, and right under 100 kilos. You took out, was it first, left, and right 90 kilos? Is that right?
So first left under 90s, and then I came second to Andrew Centrofanti on the right due to fouls.
Yeah, but if you were there, it was a great match.
Yeah,
and actually you did get, I think, the last proper win to the pin pad on Andrew Centofanti.
Yeah, it was. Correct. So yeah, that was a good day. I'd prepped hard for that, cut some weight. I'm 115.
I remember
That's
the lead up.
Anymore.
Yeah,
I'm heaps of weight.
Literally 25 kilos heavier than I was now. But then I was there. Sorry, 115 on the scales this morning. Nothing on shekel, but yeah.
137 this morning.
So yeah, look, there's still quite a few people that I would love to arm wrestle who could be 10th or even higher. But like I said, there's just a bit of lack of data, lack of comps. So like, I think we should go through honorable mentions as well.
Absolutely.
Look, to begin, despite him being retired, Gunters Bykovs could probably rock up to a comp without any conditioning or prep and still be in top 5. He's just, he was pretty much the dominant force in arm wrestling for how many years, undefeated in Australia.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few honorable mentions like that who, in good faith, we can't really include in the list because they're either like technically retired or like, semi-retired. So like you've got like Danny Tesh, who we have no idea where he would slot in this list. We're pretty sure he'd be top 10.
100%. I would put almost my life on that he could rock up with no training and still win 10th place easy.
Yeah. And then there's Doug Fadafehi,
Yeah, 100% Doug. Yeah.
Doug's one of those guys who was just a powerhouse in the earlier days and was right up there, pins on Brett Coots, pins on Brian Scott. pins on almost all the top guys. Yeah, I know I've never competed against Doug, or I would love to. Blue said it would be a good match between me and him, but I think it's hard because the last time I actually saw him, I was just so far less experienced that he just looked so far ahead.
Yeah.
You still view these people as being, almost unattainable.
Yeah, you put them on pedestals.
You do.
Yeah. I don't. I know all about that.
He is the real deal. So I don't know how active Doug is now. It's a bit of a problem. But yeah, Kyle Howarth needs to be spoken about because of
absolutely
how strong he is.
Should be spoken about.
I think he's around what is he, around 95 kilos?
Yeah, 90 to 95. I think he floats around there at this point in time.
So, stupidly strong guy. Seems to be training really, really hard behind closed doors. He posts a little bit. I'm seeing a few videos here and there come out from him or his club. Yeah. And I really think that he could be top 10. I think we just need to see matches when things open up. It's as simple as that.
Well, to be fair, he's in WA, which is very fucking far away from most of it. Outside of the fucking country.
Yeah.
So he can't make it to most comps. And most comps happen here.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I want to talk about Josh Barnett and Charles Pury from New Zealand. They're currently the overall ranked number 2 and 3 New Zealanders, just behind Mate. It's a lack of data again. We saw Charles do really well against Danny Tesh in 2019. He almost pinned him at the Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
So, they're the real deal. I think back in 2017, I think it was 2017 while qualifiers, I had a left-handed match with Josh. He ended up beating me.
Okay.
So I do know he's just a very, very strong person, predominantly a hooker. So yeah, it would be interesting to see how these guys stack up. Oh, have we lost Pete?
Pay his phone bill, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Fucking Pete, come on.
But yeah, I would love to see exactly where they would place.
Have we forgotten someone? Hang on a second.
Yeah, no, we're still getting there.
No, not me. That guy over in WA. What happened?
Brock Lewis.
Brock, of course.
Oh, you mean Ben Carroll?
Ben Carroll.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's gonna be like, wait, what?
That guy.
What the fuck?
As well as Ben Carroll would do in this list, he hasn't competed in 26 since 2016.
Yeah, since he won 2016.
Yeah.
So by default and lack of activity, I think we just can't put him in. I can't say objectively.
We're going on 5 years now.
I can't say objectively, but I believe he's just wanting to fry the bigger fish internationally. Look, if he wants to do a super match or a comp or with anyone in the nation, I'd happily put him back at number 1. So by no means have we forgotten about him. We've just chosen to take him off the rankings due to inactivity. So
he's too good for us.
Tommy Glazier from Queensland.
Yeah, 100%. If he's a healthy Tommy Glazier, he's a threat to anyone.
Stupidly strong. He has a pin on you.
Yeah, 2 pins.
Yeah, Lockie, didn't he?
He gave
he gave Lockie a good run too.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'd love to see him healthy and competing again. Adam Lower from New South Wales.
Yeah,
really strong dude.
Always a threat.
Always a threat.
Who's that?
And look, all of these people that we've mentioned, even right up to top 5 in our list, there's a very small gap between a lot of these people. Like, I can't stress that enough. So yeah. Sam Barnett, pound for pound, moving towards being the best.
He's one of the better pound for pound dudes out there.
He's getting pins on people heavier than him. developing quite an arsenal. He's really moving forward. He's doing more than just hooking, which I've seen him doing in the past. And he just looks like a different arm wrestler now. So
yeah, it's good.
And he gave so I'm not sure if we'd say honorable mention for. I'd probably say he's maybe top 20 in the country. Oz Kagler in our club in Sydney.
Yep.
But yeah, Sam went up, a weight class for the super match. Well, he was punching up, and he did really well against Oz, who's notorious for just.
Yeah, Oz just came second to Brett at Nationals 2019 as well.
For sure. Yeah.
What did Oz came second? Right arm? No. Where did he come in New South Wales? Do we know?
Last time.
Yeah, the last time.
He came
first on left.
First or second? He did really well, didn't he?
Was he first right? Second left? No,
The
he's
95,
first left and
was it?
second right.
Yeah, I think
First left, second right.
he beat Jordan's left.
Yep.
What's that
and
guy
then-
from Melbourne? Was the guy from Melbourne? What was his name? You remember Murray? Who beat Oz? What was the guy's name?
For some reason, I
On a
can't
blank,
remember.
it's a random guy.
Yeah.
That's okay, but
he lost to
Oz is no
Garley.
chump. End of story.
Yeah, that guy.
Oz is no chump.
Pete said it.
Yeah, Garley's a bit of a dark horse.
Oh,
so he
Garley,
comes in
yeah,
and
yeah.
out
Because
of comps.
Tom got him in a war and it kind of taxed him.
Last but not least, yours truly.
Last, you fuck me.
Lucky.
No particular
still
order.
too new.
No particular order.
You still got training. You still got training wheels, mate.
Yeah.
Wait, what, I gotta get mine. What are they? The stripes?
You got to earn
What are
your
they called?
fucking stripes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Earn your stripes.
I can say wholeheartedly that Lockie is one of those specimens that can just come into a sport and within a year he's pinning, some of the best guys.
Yeah, we've seen.
So we saw you beat Adam Laura at the New South Wales comp, which is no easy feat. We saw you were the only person on the day to get a stop on Jordan Davis.
Oh yeah, Murray stopped him obviously, but yeah.
Well, I think in terms of wrists,
he got my wrist back and
Stopped it with my wrist.
yeah,
No one
correct.
else did that.
yeah, which is more better.
I just didn't do anything after I got that.
And you have been as active as you could be this year. You went to WA earlier on.
I was Gold Coast last year, then WA and New South Wales. So
Yeah.
I was going to go to Victoria and Queensland and fucking everything over the top.
You didn't go to South Australia.
Yeah, I think I'd work. I couldn't.
Yeah,
Fuck,
right.
you want to every fucking comp like this bloke.
Yeah. Alrighty. So to everyone watching, let us know in the comments. Would you change anything we've said? Have we forgotten anyone?
Another honourable mention for pound. They gave Sam a good run as well as Josh Barker too.
Yeah, for sure. Josh Barker.
Yeah, and he had that recent match with Ethan Tunstall,
Yeah.
who's also another up and comer
Match of the
too.
year. Match of the year.
Yeah.
That was a fucking good match.
Fantastic.
Really strong dude, Taryn Braun. Can't forget about
Oh
Taryn.
fuck yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
I
these are
think-
the guys that can give your heavyweights and your middle heavyweights a run for their money.
Yeah.
Because Taryn felt stupid strong to me when I visited Victoria and he came as well.
Yeah.
Is it before he vomited or after?
What was that?
Before he yacked or after?
Yeah.
That was before he yacked.
Pre-yak. Alright.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming on the show, Pete, Mr. Sheck.
Thanks for helping us formulate the list.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me again, guys.
All right. Catch you later, guys.
Yeah.
See ya.